Hello and welcome. This is Cheryl. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited because today is day 1 of the 12 days of Stitchmas. Spellbinders comes out with this advent calendar for the last couple years, and they're full of different stitching dies. So there's 12 different days. For the next 12 days, I will be opening a window and then creating a card with the die set that is in that window. So today being day 1, I'm going to open up the day 1 window. They're all in numerical order, so you don't have to worry about finding them. They're really, really easy to find. So today's die set is this beautiful Christmas ornament with some stitching pieces for detail on the front of it. So I love the fact that with the stitching dies from Spellbinders, when you die cut them, they put a little bit of a line impression showing you exactly where those stitches go. So if you're new to stitching die cuts, it makes it really, really easy. And for storing these die sets, I got some Ziploc bags at my local dollar store. I think they're 3 by 4 inches. I trimmed down the door for the window, or the window for the advent calendar, to fit just inside. And I'm putting those dies in there. That way they are completely enclosed and easy to store. And I can also have the picture for what it's supposed to look like, so I can look at it and know exactly what it's supposed to be. So that's how I plan on storing all of my die sets for this calendar. So off screen, I did my die cutting. I'm using a traditional color palette here. My ornaments are going to be red with some gold detail to them. So anytime I do stitching, I will often cut it twice. I will cut the piece that I plan on stitching, and then I will cut a second one, and I will glue that to the back before assembling my pieces. It seals in all of my floss, and then it makes it a little bit easier for assembling the different die sets. For this particular one, I'm going to use some red floss, so I cut it off of the little skein there, and I like to use 2 strands of that floss. It's really easy to pull the different strands out of the floss and control exactly how thick your thread is. If you want it to be a little bit thicker, you could do 3 strands. 2 seems to be the one that I like most. So anytime I'm doing my stitching, I use a tiny little bit of Best Ever Craft tape, and I tape the end of my thread to the back of the piece that I'm stitching. And then when I'm completely done with my stitching, I will also use another piece and I will tape it down. That way everything is nice and secure. Even though I'm going to be gluing this in between 2 pieces, or in between the cardstock, and seal it that way anyways, I like to make sure that I don't happen to have a loose piece of floss somewhere. So that little bit of craft tape, or Best Ever Craft tape, holds that down and keeps it secure. When I'm doing my stitching, I will stitch with my right hand because I'm right-handed. I will hold the piece with my thumb and pointer finger, and then I often have my pinky and ring finger holding the floss, keeping it nice and taut so that I don't have any loose threads on there. You can see that sometimes I will do it and sometimes I won't do it. It just depends on the piece. It depends on the floss that I'm using. Sometimes I feel like I need to do it more than others, but I do like to make sure that I have some nice tight thread, not so much that it's pulling on the cardstock, but I don't want to have any loose loops on there. So my thread here was just a little bit too short, so I'm taking that end of that floss, using that Best Ever Craft tape to tape it down, and then using my detail scissors to remove any excess of the floss. Again, when I glue it between those pieces of cardstock, I want to make sure that I don't have floss sticking out, so I try to keep it as neat as possible. Now, I like to glue it between 2 pieces of cardstock so that everything's secure. You don't necessarily need to do that step, but you can see that we have a lot of floss on the back here, so it does take a little bit for that glue to dry. I use some sewing clips to hold those pieces together to seal everything in, and that's what works for me. It holds everything in, and I don't have to hold it in my fingers while it is drying. So I can put my clips on here, put it aside, and continue on with doing my stitching. It makes it really, really easy to do. It doesn't take super, super long for it to dry, but I love not having to stand there holding it and being able to continue on. So with that first one done, I'm ready to work on the second piece here. There's 3 different pieces that have stitching. 2 of them are exactly the same. They go on opposite sides of the ornament. Now I did this die cut in gold, and then I'm using red floss for stitching, but you can do the opposite. You could die cut this in red and then use gold floss for stitching, and that would look gorgeous too. If you do that, I would suggest doing a gold ornament for the background so that you have a little bit of contrast there. The other thing is I die cut the main ornament in poppy cardstock. I also die cut the back side, the part that I wanted to glue down, in poppy cardstock. There's a little bit of openings. If I were thinking properly, I would have done one of them in gold, the solid one probably in gold, so that those openings have little bits of gold peeking through. I wasn't really thinking about that when I was doing my die cutting, and there's not very many of them. They're very minimal, but that's another way that you could change this up a little bit. But because it's a nice basic ornament, I think you can have a lot of fun with it. With color palettes, you could go non-traditional easily, or you could stick with a traditional color palette like this. The stitching part is really quite easy, and it adds so much detail and texture to your pieces. Now, I typically will go and do my stitching the way that it is intended by Spellbinders or by the die designer, but you don't have to. You can get creative if you want. There's nothing saying that you can't go outside of the lines or do your stitching differently. Here I'm doing the stitching where the lines were, indicating that that's where it's supposed to go, but you could also do additional stitching around the outside and kind of just outline that piece a little bit. That's another way to add to it. So once I have all of my pieces together, glued to that extra piece of cardstock and dry, I will start to assemble my card. Now my main ornament here is dry, so I'm going to add that little ornament top. I have these die cut out of gold cardstock as well. The gold cardstock is mirror finish. It's from the Gold Treasured cardstock pack. That pack has 15 sheets of specialty cardstocks in it in 5 different finishes. So each finish has 3 different sheets in there. So you can go and get really creative with whatever finishes you want. If the mirror is a little bit too flashy for you, then there's also matte gold cardstock that looks fantastic as well. Now you can put this on a plain background, but I typically like to use embossing for my backgrounds just to tie in the theme, as well as it adds a little bit of texture without adding a whole lot of color. So I have some white cardstock here. I'm using the Holiday Ornaments embossing folder, and this is going to just add that texture, and it's going to tie in with that ornament theme. My mat for my card is done with that poppy cardstock. You can see I cut my ornaments out of the center of it. I do this often. That center is not going to be seen because it's going to be covered by an upper mat, so we might as well make our cardstock go just a little bit farther by cutting our pieces out of it. Now when I cut my pieces out of it, I am aware of how much space I need around that side for using as a mat, so that I don't have a little die cut edge sticking out of my mat there. But you can see once I put that embossed piece on there, you can't see where that ornament was die cut out of the background. Even if you lift the card up to the light, you can't see it. This is something I've been doing for years, and I've shared it many times on my channel, and no one's ever been able to know that I do this, even when I've told them that I have done it. So once I have that ornament on the card base, I'm going to add that little Noel flag that comes with this set. I had that die cut with the mirror gold cardstock for the back, and then I inserted the Noel sentiment for the poppy cardstock. So you can see when you tilt this into the light, you can see flashes of gold in that writing, and it coordinates well with the cord as well as the hanger and those stitch pieces. To add just a touch more texture to it, I'm just going to take some gold ribbon. This is 1/8 inch wide, and just do a little small bow to put at the top of that ornament. Another thing that I think would look fantastic as well is some like holly die cuts or something, some greenery die cuts at the top. I didn't want to add in more die sets other than what was in this calendar. I wanted to try to keep it focusing on the pieces from this calendar, so I thought just a little gold bow was enough to add that little bit of texture and finish off that ornament. So we have a very simple card here. My poppy mat is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. My embossed piece is trimmed down to 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches, and then our stitched ornament. Now, because it had that Noel flag in that set, I didn't add an extra sentiment to it, but you could certainly add that on the inside. Thank you so much for joining me for the 12 days of Stitchmas day 1. I will be back tomorrow where we will open up day 2 and create something with the die that's inside that one.